I'm going to kick off. So, as I said, this is a really small focus group. And hi, Yasmin, nice to see you. And yeah, so good afternoon, everybody. My name is Elizabeth Carter, and I'm the email marketing manager at Charity Digital. I've been in the charity sector for shame to say really, but I shouldn't really be, but over 20 years. So it's a good feat. It's a good achievement. Today's session, as I said, is really informal. And I'm just going to be walking through a very short presentation, and then we'll be doing a live demo on Dotdigital. So if you do have any questions, if you want to raise anything, if you want to share anything, because we're such a small group, please feel free to unmute yourself and to speak it out, or you can put it in the chat if you want. And please feel free to interrupt me at any time. That's absolutely no problem at all. We are recording the session, and there are closed captions available. If you're not happy sort of having your face in the recording, that's fine. You can turn your camera off. And we will be sending to you the recording together with the slides in a couple of days' time. Now, after about 30 minutes after the session finishes, you will be sent a feedback form. And I would really appreciate if you could give me your feedback, because these focus groups are relatively new. We've done a few at Charity Digital, but still for sort of the email marketing, they're relatively new. So any feedback will be absolutely fantastic for me, especially because I would know how to make them better and what we can improve for you. So I'm just going to now carry on with the session. And this is what we're going to have a look at. Just let me move that over there. So sort of the common challenges facing charities with email marketing. And there's a few slides on that. And then we're going to be diving into a live demo, as I said, with Dotdigital. So let's have a look. And as I said, just interrupt me at any time if you do have other challenges that you are facing as well and that you feel that are relevant and you would sort of like to discuss. So I've just got some common challenges here: accessibility and ease of technology, privacy and security concerns, connecting up to other platforms, and budget and pricing. Now, this obviously is in my experience with working for charities for quite a long time, but obviously there are lots more as well. When it comes to maintaining engagement and the accessibility and the ease of using technology, according to the Royal National Institute of the Blind, approximately 2 million people in the UK are living with sight loss. So, and we've got, you know, a massive amount that are registered as blind, partially sighted. So these numbers do include individuals that have various degrees of visual impairment. So obviously, bearing that in mind, you have to take into consideration that when you're sending out your campaigns, whatever email platform you're using, you would have to make them really, really accessible. So talking about this, the font has to be at least 14. The buttons are really good size, especially if you're sending out to lots of smart devices. And the plain text is a must, because you do not know whether your email recipient will receive a image-based email or a plain text email. And if you're sending out to governmental bodies or schools, generally they will just allow, with the firewalls, a plain text image email to come through, and not your images. Also, bear in mind your color contrast as well, and clear calls to action. And we will be sort of diving into that a little bit more when we have a look at the demo. So many use Microsoft Fletch Kinnaid, which is a reading test to check the email readability. So I've just put it up there if you just want to make a note of that, or obviously you can refer back to the slides at a later date. And that will actually help you to see what it looks like, and it's a test. Now, obviously your emails need to be written in simple language and lots of clarity and lots of focus. And they have to not be too clumped together, but lots of space as well. Now let's just move on and have a look at this slide. Think about your screen readers. So people that do have visual disabilities sometimes are using screen readers. So we always have to add your alt text to your images and your link titles. And we'll be diving into that as well because that will be read out to them. Now, I've got over here just a little screenshot of the links, but we will be diving into that and I'll show you that live. Okay, now have we got any questions before we actually move over to security and spam concerns for charities?
No, no questions yet.
Thank you, Yasmin. Thank you. Okay, so according to HubSpot, which HubSpot is sort of a CRM and email marketing platform, 46% of all the emails open now occur on mobiles, and that's quite a large amount. So you really have to look at a platform that gives you the flexibility to adapt your emails and to create them responsive. Maybe you can preserve some image sizes or stack or unstack the content. And I will be showing you that as well. So I've just got here data storage, user permissions and security in emails being caught up in spam. Now, charities and non-for-profits are typically concerned about where their data is stored, particularly due to the sensitive nature of the information that you're handling, you're collecting, might be sensitive, might be very personal about your donors, about your members, about your volunteers. So a question that I always get is, where is the data stored? And Dotdigital, you do have quite a few various data sort of regions. And if you are in the UK, your data will be stored in the UK. They have a EU region that uses a Microsoft Azure North and West Europe facilities, and it is based in the UK. Another question is, how many users can I have with Dotdigital and can I set the permissions? And users and their security is really important as well. It's best not to use a generic login, but to have different users. And there's no limit to the amount of users that you can have. You can set the permissions so they're allowed to access all areas or they can be restricted. And you can also set up a two-factor authentication as well, which is an extra layer of security. And that's used when anyone is trying to access your account and they confirm that they are who they say they are by sending a verification SMS message. Now, emails do get caught up in spam filters. It's a big problem and it's not going to get any better. It's a real challenge. And Dotdigital does provide you with the ability to see the reason why your soft bounce has been caught up. And it does give you the opportunity also to check your email with a spam checker. You have to be aware of your email content. Some spam filters are designed to analyze email content for specific keywords or phrases. Also, formatting can flag up some spam. And certain phrases, obviously, as you probably know, would immediately flag up spam. So I would recommend just maybe if you're thinking about using a different subject title, just Google the last spam words that are up to date. Now, your sender reputation, if your email platform or server is sending the messages has a poor reputation, then your emails will possibly be flagged up as spam. That it does pose an issue if you're using massive international email marketing platforms. You sort of don't know what IP pool you might be in. So you have to look at authentication. You have to look at whether the platform you're using has the proper authentication, such as the sender policy framework or domain keys. And you also have to double check. Obviously, Dotdigital is certified that any emails that they upload, they will flag up if they are considered suspicious or spammy type email addresses. So they won't allow you to actually put them into the platform. Now, talking about the volume of emails. So if you're sending out on a sporadic basis and all of a sudden you send out a massive amount of emails, that could flag up your spam filters as well. So it is a good idea just to keep on sending regularly if you can. And if you are sending out to a massive amount, maybe just to split it up. Now, with regards to recipient engagement, charities and non-for-profit organizations, you do struggle to maintain your high engagement rates. And low engagement, unfortunately, your metrics such as a low open rate or a high spam complaint, that can actually affect your sender reputation. So that would lead to eventually deliverability issues. So the best thing to do is to have a look at your data and to see, are these people engaging with us? If they're not, then put them into a different list and then target them specifically. Maybe you want to go back the last 6 months or the last year and say, these people are unengaging. We want to send them a special email just to re-engage with them. And if they still don't re-engage, then maybe just put them out, take them out of the list. You don't want them, who are those email recipients who are not engaging with you, to destroy your sending reputation. Now, the data quality obviously is interesting. It's not recommended to purchase lists, although some people do that. If you do upload your data into Dotdigital, then it would take you through a watchdog process and it will actually flag any invalid emails. So it does protect you in that way, especially if you are uploading a purchase list. But obviously, you have to be up to date with your data. Invalid email addresses and inactive subscribers, as I've said, can trigger spam filters. Sending out emails to non-existent or outdated email addresses will increase the likelihood of bounce backs and will affect your sender reputation as well. So when it comes to the formatting of your emails, emails with excessive number of images can trigger spam filters. You have to be careful with Gmail, especially. I would also say that Gmail historically in the past have sort of liked more text-based emails, but they do accept your image-based ones as well. But probably the best rule of thumb is just to keep to your 50-50, so 50 content and 50 image as well. Technical issues. Now, I'll put this down at the bottom, but it is an important one because there's some things that you just can't avoid. And technical issues with email servers and misconfigurations can inadvertently trigger spam filters and cause legitimate emails to be marked as spam as well. So obviously, as I've said, to mitigate these issues, you can take steps to improve your deliverability, and you just need to make sure. Sorry, I thought that my Teams was switched off. I did put do not disturb on there. And yeah, you have to make sure that the platform that you're using is a certified information security management system, which identifies and manages risk to the confidentiality and integrity and availability of the information. So let's just go to this next slide here. Okay, sending time optimization. One way to avoid sending your mass emails is to use this feature that Dotdigital offer. And Dotdigital analyze the historical data for each content individually, and they analyze it over a rolling period of the previous 90 days from hitting your send button. So for your regular or semi-regular senders, this generally will give you a good historical engagement. And yeah, it's a good feature to use if you are using the Dotdigital platform. Now, another challenge is connecting up to other platforms. It's a bit of a nightmare if you do have lots of other systems and you've all got passwords for them and they're not connected. So the good news is that Dotdigital is an open source platform. So you have the ability to connect up with anything at your end. You just got to have the knowledge and maybe the use of a third party such as Zapier. And on the right-hand side here, Dotdigital offer a really good developer hub, and you can go to there to just have a look at all the API connections and how to set it up. There are other platforms as well that do offer a simple plugin, such as Beacon, that has a plugin at their end, and it's a small monthly fee, and you can connect up with Dotdigital. Now, Dotdigital do have a wide range, as you can see here, of integrations. What we offer at Charity Digital is sort of a more cut down version of the platform for smaller and medium sized charities that can't really afford the Dotdigital budget. But I would be really, really happy if you wanted to explore more into these integrations and you wanted to have a demo with Dotdigital, I'll put you in contact with the lovely account manager that I have over there, and they can walk you through a demo and also talk about their pricing. So if you're interested in that, let me know and I can contact Dotdigital directly. So talk about budget and email marketing pricing. What we offer is, as I said, we've got more of a niche with our small and medium-sized charities. So there's no charge for uploading your contacts. And we have an email credit structure. So it's a bit like you buy in bulk and you send as and when you wish. And if you're running out of your credits, you can top up. And there are additional charges for the SMS tool and also the survey tool. And you can have an unlimited amount of users and you can set the permissions. And you've also got a choice of 3 support packages, 2 of which offer free email credits within them. And we've got 1 freebie package that offers ongoing support and also onboarding as well. So any questions before we actually dive into the Dotdigital platform? I hope that that's helped just to show some of the challenges that charities do have. Are you finding that anyone is having problems with spam or anything like that, or any challenges that you're facing? If I don't hear anything in the next couple of seconds, we just run through the
Just,
demo.
I was just going to say, myself and Charlie, we're from PDSA, but um, so we have a digital marketing team and we're the content team. So we kind of support our digital colleagues who are very close to the platforms where they send the emails, but we're very much involved in the content side of things. So we can't really say directly if we have or haven't.
Sure. Okie dokie. So when we dive into the content, I'm sure you will have quite a few questions. Okay, thank you, Kelly. No questions from you either. Thank you very much. If you did have any queries with our pricing, what I would just need to know is how many emails you'll be sending out to individual contacts if you just want to contact me afterwards, and then I will send over to you our costings for that. So yeah, basically, we just charge you for the emails that you send and not for anything else. Okay, so here we've got the dashboard with Dotdigital, and you can continue where you've left off. And on the left-hand side, on the black strip, there's quite a few features that you can use. We have our lists, our contacts, our segments, and our suppressions. So within the list, this is where you would create your data list. What you can do with your lists is that you can put them in folders when it actually comes up. You can put them in folders, you can remove them, you can merge them, you can add new contacts to your list. When you upload a list, you can use a CSV or an Excel file, or actually a zip, it allows you to. And you just click on this button here and upload your list of contacts there. When you upload it, as I've mentioned before, it does take you through a watchdog process, and it will flag up the emails that haven't been uploaded, and you can see the reasons why. Well, they're invalid, obviously. So the contacts here, this is your mother file, and that will give you the list of all of your email addresses that are in your list. And then let's just move over to segments here. Now, segments is a really nice tool that you can use. I'm just going to go into it here. You can have as many segments as you wish, and you can set out your campaign using a list, using a segment, or using a marketing preference, which we will have a look at in a minute. So your segments, for example, you can segment people out depending on your data that you've got. You can also use behavioral queries as well. So maybe, as we were saying, you want to target those people that haven't been engaging with you. And you want to say, right, I want to create a segment for those people that haven't been opening up an email in the last 6 months. And you can narrow it down and say, well, maybe I just want to know the people that are called Jane that have been opening up, or the people that have donated over £50, or the people that are just in a certain region, or that are just in a certain age. So this is where you would use your segment, and then you can send your data out. This can be as easy or complex as you wish, and you can use different lists as well and different preferences to do that. If I just go back now, and I will now go into another type of segment, which is a geographical query. Now, I don't know whether your organizations are national or whether they're regional or whether they're really local. But this is interesting to use if you've got maybe users, readers that are spread out, and you just are maybe doing a special event in an area, and you want to grab those people that are just localized in one area when it comes up. Okay, here we go. So what you can do is you can scroll right in, and you can say, right, I just want to, maybe you've got a special event going up near Newcastle, and you just want to select the people that are in the north here, and it will give you a list of people, and you can put those into an address book. You can either put a radius around it of a certain amount of mileage if you wanted to. Any questions with the segments before we continue? No. Okie dokie. So your suppressions. Suppressions here, if I click on this, it would give me a list of people that have suppressed. And this is over the lifetime of your account. And it would give you the list for the people, for all of your emails that you're sending. And you can filter people through. So maybe you just want to target the unsubscribes or just the hard bounces. You can export those. And if you find that somebody has unsubscribed by mistake and they have told you that they want to resubscribe, with a click of a button, you can send them an email, and you can brand and customize that email for them to click on a link and then resubscribe back into the platform. Now, as I said, this one down here, the SMS is an additional charge. And if you are using SMSs or you want to use it in the future, there is a monthly charge of £33.90 for the license fee that Dotdigital charges, and we pass that on to the charities that are using it. You would also have to buy up SMS credits as well. So let's dive into an email. Now, if we go into our campaigns, we've got our tabs up here. Unsent is for your scheduled ones. You've got your sent ones. And let's just go into one. You can store your campaigns in folders if you want. And let's go into this first screen here, because I'm just going to show you some features. Okay, so the first screen here, you can do your split testing. So you can split test your subject title, your friendly from, your design, if you wish to. You can add tags to your campaigns as well. If we come up to here for our campaign settings, you can set your campaign just as plain text if you want it, or you can set it as a triggered campaign. Now, once you've obviously put your subject title in, you can put emojis in, you can add personalization, or you can add dynamic content. So supposing your subject title is different for different regions of the country, then you can add that in using your dynamic content feature. Let's just move on into the content here. So it is a easy editor, drag and drop. Please bear with. I don't know whether this is Zoom or my Wi-Fi here. Okay, so as you can see, we've got our build here and we've got our styles. Now, under the build, there's lots of different features that you can drag over, your text, your images, your image of text, your videos, buttons, etc., etc. We can scroll down, we can use dynamic content within the email content as well. So this has got personalization there. If I just click on my image, it will bring up the image folders. You can upload your images, you can put filters over, text, crop them within the system. Very easy to put your image text over, which is what we talked about with screen readers. Here you would put the alt text in, and just going up to our link here, this is where you would place the links in. So, whoops, sorry, that one there. So you can attach to a document, you can put a link in for your email, you can put anchors in, and you can put lots of other things in as well. Now, the link name is for the tracking as well, but once your email has gone and you find that a link is not working, then you can change the link afterwards, and it's a lot easier to find it if you put a link name in for your tracking. So anyone that clicks on the link afterwards will go to the right page. So with your building blocks, there's a really nice feature here, which is a custom one. And if you like anything that you've done, you just drag it over and you can save it in your library and you can use it for future reference with other campaigns as well. Obviously, down at the bottom, we've got our social links, and we also have got the ability to use sharing as well. So this allows your email recipients to share your email campaign on their social networks. Now, just let's go into our styles here. Now, as we said about the display, it has to be responsive, and any campaign that you do within you create from scratch within the account will automatically be responsive. However, there are a few things that you can do as well. So maybe if you just wanted this element here that has two columns, different on a desktop than on a mobile, and you will be able to hide this element by using your style down at the bottom, display options. If I go back to the element again, so we can show this on all devices, or we can hide this just on your desktop or just on your mobile, and you can have different versions, one version for desktop, one version for mobile. Again, with your images there, we can preserve the image size, we can stack it or not stack it as you wish there. So this is basically, let me just go back. Click on that. There we go. This is the drag and drop, and lots of other features here up at the top. Your data fields is to put your personalization in. And the utilities. You can edit the source if you wanted, the HTML source, restore back to previous versions, have a look at your preview, and see what it looks like on your mobile device. Okay, and then send yourself a test. And once you're happy sort of with the HTML version, then you can go over to your plain text. And this is where it's slightly different from other platforms, I believe, because what you do with your plain text is you would generate your plain text and click on the OK button, and then you can tweak it as you wish. So any questions with that, with the content? Kelly, I know that you said you're more interested in the content. Okay. Let's just go down now. Whoops, sorry. To our programs. Automation. What are your thoughts on emojis and subject titles? Yeah, Charlie, that's a really, really, really good question. They don't generally get caught up in spam filters at all, unless you're putting absolutely loads in. It depends on your audience. They work well with a certain generation. It all depends on who you're sending to. I generally find that emojis lighten the email up. So if you're sending a very serious email that's asking for a donation, or and that's an appeal of a serious matter, maybe you don't want to use emojis. So it really just does depend on the email content and who you're sending it to. But don't shy away from them at all, because they don't get caught up in filters. Also, with your personalization, it's a good point with your personalization. Um, you know, my dad is of a different generation, and he really likes to have to see his name in the subject title. But some might classify it as being a little bit spammy if you are not having that regular engagement with them. If you just send out one that's got personalization in it, hi Roger, da 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 da, people might think, oh, who's this organization? Why are they calling me by my first name? So always personalization, use it. It's really, really, really good. This is the good thing about email marketing, is that you can personalize. Whereas with social media, you can't do that. So the two really go hand in hand. Use your personalization tool as much as you can.
What are
But
your, I was just going to ask, what are your thoughts on, doing more personalized emails as if it's from somebody at the organization? I think
mm,
we've tried that in the past, but I think there's been some confusion with our recipients. So they've they've kind of replied like, "Hi, Sarah, how have you got my email address?" If we were
mm,
writing it from like a beneficiary's perspective, like you've helped my pet, and thanks for your donation,
mm,
that kind of thing.
mm.
But I know like that's a nice element of personalization where it's not just a faceless organization. There's actually somebody talking to you from the organization. So what are your thoughts around that?
I think that's a really good idea, and I think it's quite personalized, especially if you were saying thank you very much for your donation. And you can put a signature in there, and you can say from Fran, whatever. A lot of charities do it. Depends if it's a long email. That's just a newsletter, just informing of things, and that's something different. You really don't need it in there, but I think it's nice to match it up, maybe from the friendly from as well. So the screen that I showed you beforehand, you can put in your friendly from, and it could say Laura from da da da, and then within the email, it says, thank you so much, Laura. Yeah, it's a nice touch.
Yeah, thank you.
And also, what you can do with your split testing is try it out.
Yeah,
So maybe you could have one with and one without.
yeah,
And that could be in your split testing for the subject title, or it could be in your design as well. And just see how people react, or have a have a link next to it so you can see if people are actually engaging or something.
yeah. Thank you.
Good question. So let's have a look at our journeys. Now, when we're talking about triggered campaigns, could be a single trigger. So it could be a thank you very much for signing up to a newsletter. Thank you very much to replying. It could be a double opt-in that's been sent out. Someone signed up and then they have to click on the link that they wish to be subscribed. So those are your single ones, or you could create a journey for people. So if you've got an event that is coming up, a special event, maybe you would like to bring people in via a sign up, or it could be via an upload, and then you want to wait a certain time. You can put a delay in, send out a campaign, and then based on a decision that you might want to put in there, are they clicking on a certain link? Has a data field changed? Have they donated something? Have they switched status all of a sudden? And then you can send people down different routes. So maybe let's say that they clicked on a certain link, and then you can take them down a different route, and you can say, right, okay, they've signed up. Now they want to know about the vegetarian diet that we're going to have at the conference. And you send them the email that states what the menu will be for them. Just pulling something out of the hat here. So this idea that you can set up automation is really good, because initially it would take some thinking about it, but once it's rolling, then you can just carry on with your day-to-day activities, because you know that the journey has been set up. If you have an email in the journey that needs to be updated because something is wrong or something has changed, then you don't have to deactivate the journey. You can just update the email. And the email is under your triggered campaign content just here, just in there. So you can set up your journey, just let it whirl. If you feel that you need to change your journey anytime, you can deactivate it, and people that are within the journey will just stay at that node until you reactivate it again, and then they will continue down the journey. Are there any questions with that at all? No. Okay, perfect. Let's just scroll down now and let's go to settings. So we have talked about marketing preferences, and we've also talked about unsubscribe forms. Now, obviously, the ideal, I'm just checking the chat. Sorry, no questions. Fabulous. Obviously, the ideal is to, if you are sending out different channels of communication, then you want to give the ability for your subscribers to opt in or opt out of different communications, because you don't want them to be unsubscribing from everything. So here is where you have the facility of setting up marketing preferences. Now, the marketing preferences that you put public will appear on the unsubscribe form. So that gives people the option to opt in or opt out of a certain preference. And then when you come to send your campaign, you would send it using your marketing preference, because that's your live data. So anything that you've got private won't show, but public will. You can also upload into these as well. So what you could do is you could create a sign up form that matches your unsubscribe form. Maybe you would have volunteer news, maybe you'd have fundraising, and you would have a newsletter. What do you want to subscribe to? And then your unsubscribe form will match that, will reflect it, and people can opt in and opt out. Let's just go back to our contacts again. Please feel free to ask any questions about that. And then we've got our sign up forms here as well. Now, I really like this because it gives you the ability to create the HTML code, and then you can paste it onto a landing page of your choice. You're not dependent on the landing page that's connected to the email marketing platform. So here you can choose what data fields you want. So maybe it's just a newsletter and you'll just be using the first name. Then we can just choose that, and we can decide whether we want a consent text in there as well. And we can feed it through to an address book. We can feed it through to a program as well. And we can also take them through to a thank you page of your choice. And then that, you just create the code and place it on your website, and you can customize it and tweak it as you wish. Then you know that the signups are coming through. You can trigger a thank you email if you want to do that as well to the list that they're coming through to. Just go back to our settings again. Okay, and just go into general. Okay, so the general will give you the ability to have a look at your account settings. And this is where, if you want to put your double opt-in enforced or not, or you can leave it not enforced. So when people do sign up, they will either get the double opt-in or they won't, and you can customize the double opt-in email as well that goes out. And there's a few features here that you can switch on and off, and your security as well. When I talked at the beginning about a two-factor authentication for your users, this is where you can switch that on. Okay, I also talked about the APIs. So I'm just going to go into that. Here you've got access. So if you did want to do any testing with API connections, then you can create the API users just by clicking here. Or if I go back and you want to create a normal user for your account, then you would go into manage users. And as I said, what you can do is you can set the permissions as well. So this is where you would go in to have a look there. Okay, let's just go back. You can adjust your data fields and add any data fields that you wish. Or when you come to do your first upload or second or third or any upload, you can create your data fields as and when you wish to match them up with the columns that you've got there. Now, let's just quickly go into analytics. Okay, so the all-important thing is that once you've sent your campaign out, you really want to know how well it's doing. So, apology for the white screen again. Okay, so here we can have a look at our account analytics and we can set it on a date range and we can filter through with a tag. If you have just tagged your email campaigns to newsletter, you can bring up just the newsletters. We can go right in and click down different metrics for this too. So this just gives you an idea of a period of time, your metric performance, your statistics there, campaign performance, and your campaign comparisons. So you can set as many campaigns there that you want to compare with the metrics that you wish to display on the right-hand side as well. So that just gives you an overview. But if you want to scroll right in to a campaign, then we'll go into reports just here. So let's have a look at this campaign. This was a very small group of people that were sent to. We can see up at the top, just gives a quick preview of it. Most of the people opened it up with NHS domains, which is quite interesting. And then this one here, we can just view what people are using to open up your campaign. I do apologize for the delay. Okay, there we go. So we've got lots of Chrome users, interesting, and Outlook as well. That gives us a breakdown. Okay, now if this campaign that you've sent out, if you used any split testing with it, then you would be able to see the results of the split testing just here, and you would be able to see who's clicked on what subject title. But we can see that there's only one address book that was used. This was a subject title, so there's no split test, there's just one. And it's sent by myself. We can see who the IP, where the IP users are approximately. It's not absolutely accurate. And this is our open rate just here. We can scroll down. And generally, this is the most important metric that you want to be having a look at, which is your click to open rate if you've got links within your campaign. Obviously, with your link name, we can just drag that up and see that there. And if I click on this, this will get me a list of people that have been clicking on the links there. If I go right up to the top, there's other features that we can have a look at. So we can have a look at the most engaged people or people that have replied, who our soft bounces are, who our hard bounces are, who the unsubscribes are, the map of openers, and we can get a list of non-openers there as well. So it gives you a good in-depth understanding of what's happening with your campaign once it's been sent out. Now, are there any questions there with the reporting or the analytics? No. Okie dokie. So I'm just going to, obviously there are lots of other little features that are really, really helpful. And if you do come on board with Charity Digital using the Dotdigital platform, then the training will be more in depth. But I just want to touch on this one here. This is the Connect. Now, I did mention before that if you're interested in what Dotdigital offer with the integrations, then please contact me and I will very happily put you in contact with the account manager at Dotdigital. So just to give you an idea of the integrations that you can have directly. This is the section that Charity Digital is unable to offer our clients, but I'm showing you in case you're interested. So there's lots of different things down there. Okay, now I have sort of given you a whistle-stop tour of the platform. And yeah, does anybody have any other questions of email marketing in general, not just Dotdigital? Anything that you're having challenges with? Nope. Okie dokie. So let's just move over here. And I'm just going to go down to my next slide. And this is a slide that gives you sort of the good resource links. So this is Dotdigital resources there and the developer there, and information about what we offer just here. You can also email me on the email address with any questions that you may have, or if you want to have a look at our pricing as well. And it's, yeah, all is left for me to just say thank you very much for joining us. And also, I just wanted to plug our absolutely fantastic event that is coming up soon on the 20th of June. And it's our Digital Inclusion Summit. And it is free. So, yes.
Thank you.
So, thank you very much. It was a very small group, which I absolutely love. And you'll be moving over. Okay, that was really good. Well, Charlie, get in contact with me. Get in contact with me. Okay, well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Agree with Kaylee. Okay, thank you. Thank you for being here with me and accompanying me on the walkthrough. And I hope you have a lovely rest of the day. Thank you very much.